Do. Alrighty. So, what I was saying before, when nobody was listening for some reason, couldn't figure it out, is that you need to create a shape, and the shape, this controller object, right, is much like the controller objects we made before, except we don't need to connect this one to the hand. Um, Although I used the pivot thing to put it right over the hand. Now this could be like it doesn't have to be right on the hand. I'm just doing that because it's easy to get to. So we're going to attach an attribute to this shape that allows us that when we select the shape and we go into the channel editor, there'll be a um, a channel here for make a fist, and when we slide that, it'll make a fist. So the first thing we need to do, I'm going to put this back. This doesn't have to be orient constrained or anything. Don't worry about any of that. All we're doing is learning how to make a set-driven key. And this could be any shape. It doesn't have to be a circle. It doesn't have to be on the hand. It could be, I think in the other model, they were little diamonds or something. Um, Great. So select this, and then we need to go into the attribute editor. The attribute editor is this one if you can't find it. I have mine stored on the side. You'll notice up here there's various things going on. Um, this is the creation, the history of the creation of this circle, and we don't want that. And this is the actual object's makeup, and we don't want that. We want to create our, because we need the rotation we need to be able to access the rotational information. We're going to make our make fist attribute in the transform section, and that says transform there, and it has rotate and scale. It's very important that you're in here and not in here or here. All right, NURB circle, attributes, add attribute. All right, look, we're all caught up to where I was before. And I'm going to call this make fist. You have to have the circle selected. Select the circle, and then you go up in the attribute editor. It's here. You know, that's like this and this stuff and this stuff and this. This is the attribute editor. And then you need to be on NURB circle, the object, not the shape, not the make NURB circle, but the actual object, which is that. And attributes here, we want to add an attribute. I already did that, so I'm going to edit my attribute. Oh, I didn't actually save it. So I'm going to add attribute. I'm going to name it make fist 2, just in case the other one is laying around somewhere. It needs to be keyable, right? It needs to be a float. That means that it can retain various inputs of information such as rotation, scale, and translation. It needs to be scalar. I don't know why. And now I'm going to give this a range of numbers to be able to slide to. And this is totally frigging arbitrary. It could be minimum could be -1 and maximum could be 0.6 and the default could be like 1 or something. So what you don't want to do is make this like 0 and this 100 because then you'll be scaling forever just to make it happen. So a lot of people do like 1 to 10 and even that's a lot. But just to make things easy for us today, we'll make our minimum 1, we'll make our maximum 10, and then we'll make our default 5, which is right in the middle. It's up here in attributes. I'm gonna hit OK. Did you see that? It's this here, right? And then it has to be in NURB circle 1. or whatever your NURB circle is called, and then you need to hit attribute and then add attributes. Did you find that, Joe? Let me know when you've caught up. I am recording this though, so your question will be recorded in Prosperity. Well, he would have moved on, except Joe had a question. Gotta love videos. Um, did you find it? Great. And you're all caught up? Great. Okie dokie then. So then we hit OK. And then if I select the NURBS curve here and I go to the channel editor, you'll see make a fist is now something. And I can slide the numbers. There's 1, there's 10, and you'll see that it came defaulted out on 5, right? When it popped up. And you can numerically type them in too if you want. Exciting. All right. Are you guys still with me? Okay. Yeah, not necessarily. It depends what workspace you have. Do you guys know about workspaces? Quick sidebar. Here are workspaces here. If you click up here where it says workspaces, and all these workspaces are different for like I want the standard one, and then you get this, and it doesn't have any of those sidebars. And I want I think I had the rigging one open or something. Um, I want modeling. I want sculpting, rigging, and rigging, you get those ones back up. All right. So now the other part. We are going to, I got to try and find that button. Where is it? You go to Channel Editor, and you right click on Channel Editor. It's like Shift right click or something. Nope, come on. So much for, oh, and I close my attribute editor. There it is. Do, 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 do. There's a fast way of doing create set-driven keys. And I forgot what it is. I'm trying to remember it, and I want that. Channel editor, there. Do, 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 do. Oh, I forgot what the hotkey is. I'm so sorry, guys. Is it shift, maybe? Shift click. There it is. So it's control. In order to get, so if you select the thing we made, right, you have to hold down control now to get set-driven keys. It took me forever the other day to figure that back out. Doink. And so then we get this little set-driven key editor sort of deal. Yeah? Yeah, hold down control and then left click on this and open and then drag down to set-driven key. Control, or is it right click? Right click, set-driven key. And you'll get this editor. All right. So I'm going to open up this because if you just grab this, it looks like everything is here. So this is the set-driven key editor, and this is another one of Maya's editors that allows you to associate things with other things. They have quite a few of them. This is set-driven keys. And it'll allow you to add key positions to a channel editor in here. And so the first thing we're going to load in is the driver. And you can see up here it says driver and load driver. We would like to load the driver, and the driver is this shape. And then you can see that once I've loaded that shape, there's all these things here, right, which match up with the channel editor. The one that we want is make fist 2. So what do we want the driver driving? We want the driver driving make fist 2. Got it? All right. So this you select it here, and then you go here, load driver. And then it comes in with all this stuff. And then you just select this. You don't double click on it or anything. You just click on it and you make sure this is NURB circle is selected as the driver and make fist 2 is the channel that we're going to be using to affect the driver. Now down here in the driven section, what do we want to drive? We would like to drive all these hand figures, all these fingers. So I'm going to, where do they end? Down here? Yeah. Shoulder, hand, right? Yeah. Okay, and these are the driven. So I'm going to load the driven into the bottom part. Make sure you select them all like this, because if you just select the first one, it won't do anything. But if you select them all like this, and then you can go load driven, and then they all pop into here, right? And now the fun part. So we need to select what we want these to do and then key them in that position. What we're going to do first is key everything in the number 5 position. So we need to go back here and select this and make sure that your make fist is in the number 5 position, okay? This is our neutral position, number 5 for us. 1 is all the way off, 10 is all the way closed, number 5 is just a regular hand, okay? So this needs to be here because we're going to set keys on that frame in the channel editor right now by using this thing here. And we're going to have to go through this entire list and set them one by one. Not as hard as it sounds, but it's not fun. So make sure this is set to 5. Make sure you select the first one here, this one, the very first bone. Doesn't matter what it is, whatever's the top of the stack there. And then we're going to select all the rotate, 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 rotate. And I'm holding down control. Do I have to hold down control? Yeah. So rotate, holding down control, rotate, rotate. And then I'm going to key them, right? It doesn't matter. And then I'm going to go down to whatever the next one is, and you can see these are still selected, and I'm going to key them. I'm going to the next one, and then I'm going to key them. And then the next one, and I'm going to key them, and the next one, and key them, and next one, and key it. And just work your way slowly through the list. Don't try and do this super fast, because if you skip one, it'll mess you up. So just kind of go slow. And I'm using the down arrow. So you did something wrong along the way. I'm not sure what you did, and I can't stop to go back. So we'll revisit that in a little bit. Just kind of pay attention. And you can watch the video later. All right, so now we've set all those in the number 5 position. So let's take this now and put this to the number 10 position. And then I'm going to go back up to the top. I'm going to select this. But first, I'm going to come in here. And I'm going to rotate, oops, no, stop that. I'm going to rotate these into a fist shape. And you don't really need to key them or anything because we're setting them. It's a set-driven key thing, so it's not like a normal key thing. Object, okay. Just wanted to make sure I had object on. Sometimes these don't bend so well. Okay, so now I've got all the fingers in a fist sort of thing, right? So now I can go back here. I reselect this, and in the channel editor, I make sure I'm in number 10, and now I'm going to key these in the number 10 position. And I'm going to do it the same way. Select the first one and hit key, and the next one, hit key, next one, hit key, hit key, next one, hit key, next one, key it, next one, key it, key it. I've selected all these before, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. The only way to make sure this always works every single time is to do it like this. So if you want to throw the dice and see if it works, that's great. Go ahead and select them all and then hit key, and it very well might work. It sometimes doesn't. Okay, so now I can go back here and select this, the make fist, and we test it to see if it works, and look at that. So now the hand opens and closes. So now we don't have to animate the fist into that position. All right, so now we need to do the very first frame, and I'm going to open up the hand a little more on this frame. So I'm just going to, like, this is what I call a splay hand for like when you get scared or you're trying to catch a football or something. And all the fingers kind of rotate out a little bit and up a little bit. Think about if you were to stretch your hand because you had a question like, why doesn't my nerve curve attach? Then you could make your hand this big to ask me a question. Okay, well, with that done, what do we do? Anybody? Anybody? We make sure the NURBS curve, this is set to 1. Yeah? Then we come here and we select this, and we make sure these are on, and we hit key, and 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 key. I use 2 hands to do this. Down arrow, mouse button. And I can do it really fast, but I don't because you have the same problem if you do it really fast that it might jank up and skip one or something. I've had bad things happen. Alrighty, so, oops, didn't want to do that. So there's all the way out. All the way out, all the way in, all the way out, all the way in. Pretty neat, huh? And so now all we have to do is parent. We can actually, we can close that now because we're all good. And we can take this. I think we can parent it to that. So now if we move this arm up, and then we can go here and select this and make a fist. And then you just key them like you normally would key anything. Where's my time slider? Stupid rigging thing. Hold on a second. Animation. Thank you all. Time editor. I forgot about the time editor. It's a much easier way of doing some stuff. So, by the way, if you're doing this kind of stuff, you don't want to put the keys on the fingers here. You put all the keys on this object, right? So just like we did with the other control objects, and then it keys. But you don't need to do this bit here. In fact, see, that would screw it up because now if I move this off of its center, it won't close right anymore, or it just ignores it. It didn't even take the key. Interesting. That's new. It used to really screw it up. All right, wasn't that fun? So you're going, what use is this? That sounds stupid. Why would I want to make a fist in something? We're going to do mouth shapes with this. That'll be the next thing we do. So um, I want you guys to all do, finish this hand if you haven't, and if you have finished this hand, do the other hand. And I want to check them. Please do that now. Daniel, and I'm going to stop my video. You did.